According to historians, in 1861, Kentucky became a Union state due to Union influences. Uh, so they fought for the Union, not the Confederate States. They never became a 13th Confederate state. Uh, they did not fight for the South during the Civil War. Now, they did have Southern influences, but which state didn't? Every state had brother against brother. New York, Pennsylvania, Maine, Vermont all had Southern influences and had people defect to the South. Okay? So, are you going to say because every state had Southern influences, they were uh, not a Confederate state? Or they were a Confederate state, excuse me. Well, then say Pennsylvania is a Confederate state. New York, Maine, Vermont, Delaware, Rhode Island, Ohio, Illinois, because they all had Southern influences and had people defect to the South. They didn't stay in the North. But now you want to take modern day influence as to saying Kentucky was a Southern state. But they also say Colorado's a Southern state. They say Missouri was a Southern state. Colorado wasn't even a state back then in the Civil War. Missouri was a split state. They say Oklahoma, which was not a state back then, was part of the South. They're trying to say that Texas was not part of the South. Now, in modern times, try to say Arkansas is not part of the South during Southern times. But yet, there's a song that was written during the Civil War that depicts every state in the South. And Arkansas was one of them. Texas was one of them. Kentucky sure in the hell was not. Virginia was one of them in that song. South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Tennessee. Missouri wasn't added in there. Arkansas was. Wow. So you're even saying that all the songs were wrong too from back in that time. That depicted every southern state in the South. I don't know what historians you're reading, but I'm sure they're modern day historians that want to change everything to uh, look like they were in the right as far as that goes. When all historians, up till within the last 5 years, have said Kentucky was a northern state. It was taught me that in school when I went to school. It was taught me that by historical document. It was taught to me that by living history events that I did called the Civil War reenactments. Something I'm sure none of you have ever done, or very few have. But if you did, you'd also found out that there was plenty of blacks that also fought for the South. The South didn't segregate either, like the North did. The South also had a black captain in the 17th Florida Militia. A black captain. You couldn't become anything bigger than a sergeant major in the Northern Army. Couldn't become anything better than an enlisted man in the Northern Army. They were kept away from the white troops in the Northern Army. If you don't, and if you want to see a pretty close to accurate portrayal of that, look at the movie Glory. Morgan Freeman did a lot of history and a lot of research into 54th Massachusetts. He also seen what they went through. But the very end was portrayed wrongly. The 54th Massachusetts did not ask to go fight at that fort. They were demanded to go fight at that fort by the white leaders, by their white masters, by their captains, which none of them could be, by their lieutenants, which none of them could be. No white man attacked that fort. Ever. They allowed them to go up there and die. Now, don't that sound like white masters to you? I know it does to me. That fort was never taken, by the way. They knew they couldn't take that fort. The way it was made, the way it was dug in, the way everything was done, they knew it. And they allowed them black men to go die anyway because their masters said do it. See, y'all want to praise the North and what they did for you. You want to praise the Democrats and what they did for you. Like I said, let's look at some history on that. History dictates that Andrew Jackson, who founded the Democratic Party, founded the KKK as well. He killed hundreds of thousands of Native Americans. Tried to commit genocide on a group called the Muskogee Creek. He even said he would eliminate all Muskogee Creek from the face of the earth, and that's what he ran on for his presidency back then. Then you want to claim indigenous people this and indigenous people that? You could take indigenous people out of your mouth when you love that man and you love the Democratic Party, who tried to kill many, many of my Muskogee Creek relatives. Then you got a president, the leader of the Democratic Party right now, Joe Biden, who went to a KKK leader's funeral, called him his hero and friend. Oh my God. Yet you want to claim that? Ted Cruz. Now, I still have to question his knowledge and how he gained his knowledge about these wristbands. knows a lot about the cartel I don't think he should be knowing. But he does. But he proved a point about one thing. There's wristbands on some of these people from Honduras and things like that, where the cartel brought them up. Wristbands show how much money these people owe the cartel. And the cartel will kill them if they don't collect their money. So they are enslaved to the cartel as they come across the United States border. So Biden has his own slavery going on right here in the United States. Last president supposedly had slavery going on during his presidency was supposedly Lincoln. Now Biden has slavery happening under his watch here in the United States. Interesting. No one wants to bring that up. No one wants to talk about that. Biden killed hundreds of our soldiers in a debacle in Afghanistan. He treated them like slaves. Fuck you. I don't need you no more, slave boy. You stay there and die. American citizens died in Afghanistan. Several had to get out and pay big money to get out because the United States left them there to rot under Joe Biden's watch and his orders. We ain't even got into his deal with the laptop, showing that he knows about his son's dealings and inner workings with the CCP and the Ukrainian government. We haven't got into how he allowed little kids in a swimming pool to quote unquote play with the hair on his legs because he had long hair and the little kids wanted to push it down. We have not talked about how he thinks it's okay for people to expose their genitalia to kids at a stripper show because they're drag queens. And allow them kids to be touched by such people and allow the kids to touch such people to give them money in their little thigh garter. We haven't even got to that. Because we could go hours on that. But there's you some history. There's you some history lessons. And there's you some bullcrap that you can take to the bank. That you're an idiot. You're a moron. And I thank you.